Reddit by Reddit recap. NSFW. What are some dirty secrets you have seen at a bachelorette party that could ruin the marriage? A good friend of mine made out with a groom on his stacked party and Nick all the way from Ireland. He wanted to come all the way back with us. I feel bad for his bride. She didn't know he was on his stacked party until about 15 minutes into the making out. I know of a couple that are together because the girl got pregnant. I also know who the father is, hint, not the person she married. The guy who was the father was there at her version of a bachelorette party. He was her best friend, so he threw her a private party, like 5 of us. I was there for the first little bit as a close friend, but things heated up so I got the hint and bounced. I've been to one bachelor party, my brother's. It was 3 guys, the groom, the best man, and me, sitting around a campfire shooting the it and drinking whiskey. Of course, the wedding was put together in less than a week, so obviously there wasn't time to plan anything extravagant. Before you ask, no, it wasn't a shotgun wedding. The bride was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Not only did she want to experience a wedding while she could, they wanted to make sure he was her next of kin before the inevitable. Good thing they did, too. Her parents tried to go against her wishes in pretty much every way possible. For instance, she insisted on no viewing and being cremated, because she wanted people to remember her how she was when she was healthy. Her parents demanded an open casket. My brother told them in no uncertain terms to duck themselves. That's not when things get wild, it's more likely to be an after-work gathering with other employees and alcohol. Went to a friend's bachelor party as a DD. Everyone was very drunk. Groom decided to have a 6 with the best man in the middle of a public parking lot. This was when we realized he liked men. Needless to say, his now wife still doesn't know he likes to have a 6 with men. In New Orleans, our bachelor group found a bachelorette group and started talking, dancing, etc. It was late in the night at this time, and our bachelor was dancing with their bachelorette mostly at the urging of the bridesmaids because they thought it would be cute. Not too long into it, he gets belligerently handsy and heads a bit up the skirt. I didn't see the act but spun around when one of the bridesmaids hollered, "Your bachelor just fingered our bachelorette." We bounced immediately. Not a traditional bachelor party, but upon going out for drinks with him, the groom spent an uncomfortable amount of time voicing very real, foundational concerns about the union, his then fiancée, their terrible money situation. It was about 2 months prior to the wedding, and, in his own words, he wouldn't call it off because people had already bought their tickets and stuff. It was all around depressing because, on the actual day, she seemed pretty happy and he just looked kinda flat, a look that seems to be a permanent fixture in his demeanor these days. I think he was just too polite to initially call it off when he realized he wasn't 100% into it. And then it progressed into cohabitation, engagement, marriage. My friend screwed a stripper at his bachelor party. We bought him a lap dance and he disappeared for about an hour. Apparently he paid a little extra and had some more fun. Welp, from this thread I learned that if I'm cheated on, nobody will tell me. I'm not sure if this counts. Was in a very dark time in my life and I was drowning my sorrows at a bar. I was alone, physically and emotionally ripped apart, addicted to drugs, drunk, sobbing my eyes out and completely out of my mind, when the girl next to me strikes up some convo, asks me if I want to smoke some weed out in her car. Obviously, I did. We went out to her car and the next thing I knew, this girl's tongue was down my throat and she was on top of me. I went with it, and things got steamy really fast. And suddenly we were interrupted by violent pounding on her windows and her doors flying open. Hands pulling her off of me. It was 6 of her friends. Her ducking best friends, her ducking wedding party. And I was making out with the bride. They dragged her away and I never saw her again, even though I'm pretty sure I'd never remember anyway. And, oh yeah, I'm a girl. I've been to 5 of my friends' bachelor parties and nothing happened that couldn't have been repeated to the bride. Then again, I'm exclusively friends with decent people, so that's probably the issue. I attended an old college friend's bachelor party. Worst that happened that night was he got a lap dance. His fiancée knew about that. Allegedly. Couple of weeks later I am out getting a few drinks with another group of friends. We have too many drinks and think it's a great idea to go to this scummy dive bar. Think the kind of place the Always Sunny gang would find homely. Lo and behold, he was there in a shady booth, inspecting the tonsils of a vintage Walmart beast. He is clearly wasted and doesn't see me. I get another drink, figuring I will get up the nerve to do something. Spoiler alert, I do jacket. He leaves with the girl after performing a digital cervical inspection of his prize for the evening. No idea what happened that night. He lived with his fiancée, but a couple of weeks later I get an email saying the wedding is off. Still friends with both of them on Facebook. But yeah, they are not together anymore. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. And sorry for confusing some people with my choice of words. I just thought saying he finger banged her like he was playing Dark Souls on a 9-string banjo was a bit grotesque. I had a bachelor party in Las Vegas. It was amazing, everyone had a great time. Except I was never engaged. My buddy made up the story so he could go to Vegas and bang hookers. I was filled in about 10 minutes before we sat down to a dinner his wife was attending. Buddy of mine blew me and a couple other dudes after a bachelor party went on to long. Good dude, still friends today. He's dead if his wife ever finds out. Just saw that a bachelorette party can lie somewhere between the extremes of bowling alley plus Wendy's vs hooking up with strippers. Believe it or not, you can have an appropriate amount of fun and crazy without ruining the marriage. My now wife and I had our respective bachelorette parties in Vegas, and we both had a great time. She went to a couple day clubs with her girls and also went to Chippendales. Got blackout drunk with her best friend taking care of her. And they have some hilarious stories from their adventures. My groomsmen and I balled out. One of my close friends is rich and got us tables. I got a couple of my groomsmen laid. And someone almost got arrested for public urination. Great fun. But nothing I wouldn't joke about with my better half. Obviously, if you don't trust the other person to party without cheating on you, don't let them do that. But then at that point maybe reevaluate your decision to marry them. Just trying to provide some perspective here for anyone panicking after reading some of the stories. Not exactly an answer to the question, but I was on a bachelor party that ended horribly when his fiancé learned he had been cheating on her for the entire first half of their relationship. She called off the marriage over the phone with him while we were all getting drunk at a bar. Mood went from lighthearted to catastrophic in an instant. And none of his friends knew about it, so consoling him was really hard, since he was so clearly in the wrong. I literally proposed yesterday. This is not a good thread for me to be lurking in. Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone. Not a bachelor party but a golf tournament weekend with a bunch of people from our office. A girl I worked with just went wild. Got drunk and was giving lap dances. Flashing. Letting guys put money in her panties. etc. She later disappeared into the woods with two separate guys and was making out in a bar with another later in the evening. I had known her for a few years and had never seen any inclination for that type of behavior out of her. Monday at work I talked with her and she was beside herself with guilt. I didn't tell her husband or anyone else about the weekend. Pretty sure her marriage would have been over if he had found out about it at the time. But this was at least 13-14 years ago. I think the only thing that saved her was that this was before the time of Snapchat, Twitter etc. No way her behavior wouldn't have been documented today. Bachelor drunk texted his ex when the party started winding down. Got back to where we were staying and he ended up sexting with her for hours. Sending pictures and all that. It apparently had happened a few more times after the wedding, too. I was part of a bachelor party that was strip club hopping in Vegas. The bachelor went back for a private dance. The club has these little rooms with really small beds for private dances. We suddenly see the stripper holding her outfit pressed against her chest, running to the behind the stage area while a large bouncer is escorting the bachelor out. At the same time another club employee informed us that the bachelor had to leave. We could stay if we wanted to but he had to leave. Of course we all left, but he would not tell us any details of what happened. I still talk to the guy and to this day he won't say a word on what went on back there. We all have our theories. Not a party but the rehearsal dinner. Groom's father reaches out and grabs a handful of bride-to-be's ass. She turns around and he sticks his hand up her skirt and up her crotch. She quickly jumps back, surprised and upset. Then she responds with, "Stop it. You are going to make me blush." His son came over and both his dad and fiance acted as if nothing. How did we find out about this? We watched the video the photographer took of that night. Yeah, update. You all are wondering what happened after. The wedding went on as planned. The couple made it past a year, not much, before calling it quits. There is no indication they saw the video. The guy and his dad have a great relationship, so I am guessing. No, they did not see the video, or they are just that weird. Like a lot of you. I too wonder why none of her friends who say the video spoke up. I put my money on the affair camp. I would not be surprised if anything was going on between the guy's father and the bride. That is what makes sense to me. I had sex with the bride-to-be and her best friend. After her fiancé left. Simultaneously ashamed and proud. The bachelorette party was in a hotel room. And when the evening was winding down, the best friend and I went into our room, which was being shared by the bride since there were 2 beds. We were decently drunk and started going at it, and the bride was just watching us. Eventually she said she wanted to fool around with us, so I watched them for a bit, then joined in when the bride presented herself while going down on her friend. Definitely the hottest sex of my life. This thread is really bumming me out. Was invited to a bachelor party once. We played so much Smash Bros and ate so much pizza, I don't know how he made it to the wedding in the morning. My god. I don't know if the marriage would survive if the bride found out how much we drank. It must have been at least half a gallon of soda. Best comment of the day. Bachelorette party of one of the Dota 2 talents is the funniest. The groom wanted a stripper, so they booked one. She introduced herself as Kim. As soon as she arrived, they invited her to play Werewolf, a board game, with them. She tried to undress, but they asked her to keep her clothes on. They later invited her to play VR, then did Kong racing, with a catch that whoever loses to Kim has to tip her. Kim ended up revealing her real name, beating everybody at the bachelorette party on Diddy Kong Racing. Some men ordered a rematch, and she beat them again. Well, Kim kept her clothes on the entire time, kicked everyone but on Diddy Kong Racing, and left confused with lots of tips.